Animaniacs 2020, Season 1, Episode 10. Please stop. I'm sorry, like, don't. Okay, I don't know whether you think you can pull what South Park pulls, but you don't even have the turnaround time to excuse what you're doing. Like, I mean, like, South Park writes in like a week. Like, they write and produce and do all that in like a week, like 6 days. Like, it's into the studio almost the night it airs, if not the night it airs. South Park. So when it makes a commentary, it's spur of the moment, from what I understand. You have like you have actual animation, like real quality animation that takes a long time. Why would you tie it up with this? Like, at least if South Park goes fast enough to get it wrong, which they usually don't. But even if they get it wrong, like, okay, they do a week turnaround, so you understand. Like, why are you bothering with this? Just okay, just Animaniacs. Just listen. Okay, and all this the Russian stuff. Like, you're the one who did a bit on the Red Scare, not but a few episodes ago. And now you're doing a Russian scare. It's like, really? um, and then you're making political jokes that just they fall so flat by anybody who's paying attention and just look so out of touch. Okay? Here's a simple rule for you. Okay? If you want to make fun of something, it can be cultural. That's fine. Don't get political, okay? Because, the NSA joke was fine because that's just sort of that happened. That's just a cultural thing. But you start getting into the Russian stuff, and it's just like, oh, why? Just if you want to go back and meet with Einstein, that's fine. You want to talk with somebody who's been dead a while. We know everything about them, just about. I mean, you can't know everything, history, whatnot, but we know their history is fairly settled. Like, you want to visit Leonardo da Vinci, which I think they have. I think Pinky and the Brain might have, but that might have been something else. Anyway, you can visit somebody like that, a historical figure, and have fun with them, but just leave the political commentary to other things. You're not good at it because you're running so far behind things, and media is so untrustworthy at this point that you keep running yourself through with your own sword. Just stop. Just stick to what you're good at. You're good at playing with historical figures and doing good, things like that. And if you're gonna do a historical figure, focus on them. Stop doing the like the thing you did with the what was it? Um, the suffragettes. Like, you got like 10 seconds worth of history in there, and then like a dot being sexist. It's like, come on, people. Just just if you're gonna go with something, treat it with neutrality and respect and have fun with it, but don't get political because you're just not good at it. You're not good with modern politics. Culture's fine, TV's fine, you're good with that. Just don't bother with political because you're just so far behind.
Yeah, you want to at least try to, have it where it's not passe by the time you air it. Which how fast politics move, it's kind of a given with a cartoon.
Yeah. Again, like, the only one who can really keep up with it, and even then, they're subject to they run the risk of getting it wrong sometimes because they go so fast. Is South Park. Like if they wanted to do something political, like they could do it because they move fast enough and their animation is easy enough and quick enough for them that they can do it and they could turn it around in a week. They can do that. But you sit on these things for who knows how long. I mean, with COVID, who knows how long it took you to go from script to screen. But you have a long lag time and you have a very real chance of getting it wrong. But
Yeah. Although I did like the Russian dot though.
Yeah, but I think the other dot was a little fluffier.
Yeah,
Just a little.
and he was totally right. He was very flat on that song.
True. Although, does anybody else find it funny that they're the exact opposite proportions? Like the Yakov is the smallest, the Yakov is the smallest, and the Wakov, and then the Dutsky, they're getting progressively bigger as opposed to progressively smaller.
Which I mean, yeah, if they had stayed away from politics with this could have been funny. Going to someplace else and just you know they find a like not even the spying aspect, but like they're just watching old Animaniacs and remaking it, and you could make jokes poking fun at the remake. Um, you know, and
And the beginning skit where they're watching the ones from other countries, and it's like, I like the fact that she said football instead of soccer
eh,
because fuck America.
hey,
Um, it is football, not soccer.
hey, the British came up with soccer as a name, so
Yes,
we're
but
just
it was a pseudonym. It
for
that's what
association football, and so they
it
called it soccer. It got shortened to soccer, and so yes, it's actually it came
I
from
know
there. But we're getting significantly sidetracked here.
you get
Let's do.
significantly sidetracked anytime there's a political discussion. Like
Yeah.
even
Well,
if
when somebody comes up with something
judge
that I know
is
is wrong, I'm like, no,
going
no,
to
that's not
explain it
right.
right. So, I mean, there's really no difference.
There's no difference with what I
The
missed the first.
side,
But
but I like how they use the same line with I don't even know what the word was, but they use like every time goal for everything. I don't even know what half of those sports were. I only recognized football and cricket.
Go sports.
yeah, and there's a
Go.
there is uh, a kind of a dark joke that they slipped in there that was political that works because it's not really partisan. It's just sort of fact. You can actually look at it, and that was the whole Venezuelan Price is Right. It's like that's
Oh,
more
the
of an adult
monetary thing.
joke, and it works. It works. It's funny. Like it's one of their few political jokes that works, and it's not really almost. It's almost not political. It's just sort of there. But
It's an
yeah,
economic joke, not a political joke.
yeah. But given its ties to how that came about, that starts slipping political really quickly. But yeah, it's an economic joke rooted in politics, but economic joke, so it doesn't trigger as much of a response. But and it actually is on point. It's like this was a million bolivars, now it's billions of bolivars. It's like, yes, that's hyperinflation. Welcome to your style of economy. But yeah, it's like this could have been good. It had some points. If they had lopped off a lot of the Russian scare, the sort of Red Scare stuff, you know, knocked that away and kept sort of they just discover somebody making a Animaniacs knockoff in Russia or somewhere else, doesn't really matter, and had the same, with the same sort of getting it wrong in a very specific way, like related to that country, like, then yeah, that would, I think that would have worked. I think a lot of stuff in here works if you, you know, don't you don't get quite so political. Like you put that stuff off to the side. I think that would have it still would have worked. You write a few more jokes here and there, and I think it still works. It would still work, but the fact that it's couched in this just Russian obsession has really tanks the
I
whole
mean,
thing.
it's not even the Russianist obsession, really. It's the whole what that signifies with it because of the whole,
Yeah, the
was is being run by Putin type thing. That whole mess,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
Russian interfere with the election, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, if they stuck it to just Russian, that might be enough stuff to be a joke right there. But start bringing in it's all about. You're right. It's sort of it signifies and you know what they're going for because of the way that they've done everything else. um, but
Well, I mean, lucky for them, Air Force One was there.
yep.
and that yeah,
Well,
that's
I mean, it makes trips to and from to Russia and back to DC daily. So
yeah, real real good joke there, huh?
real subtle.
Yeah, but as subtle as a mallet, and about as accurate, about as accurate as a blindfold.
I know everybody knows Trump didn't spend that much time actually working.
Probably more than you think, but more than we know. But
Oh yeah, he
because they're
was
presidents,
busy fucking over
they
the.
do a lot more than you think. But Obama probably did more than we know too. Like there's stuff we don't know that they do, and sometimes like golf clubs, when they go play golf, like if they take somebody with them, it's because it's a diplomatic thing. They're just doing it on a golf course. Like,
Ew! I do not want to even picture that. No, no. Oh, Grande Delecto with Trump. Ah, ah.
but yeah, if yeah, anytime, because a lot of golfing is just here. Let's do what we're going to do in a meeting inside. Let's just do it outside and walk around for a bit and play golf.
Oh,
But yeah, so and that's a very common thing for presidents to do because those that golf, that's what they do. They have meetings as an excuse to golf and to get out of the office for a while. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Trump particularly, but like presidents do more than we know. Anyway, okay, so Babysitter's Flub, which is the second piece of this. Um, was anybody else find the art in this one, the animation, a little creepy, a little weird?
And mostly just the children.
Yeah,
Well,
they
yeah.
move in a. And I know it's from Pinky and the Brain's perspective to make them look more scary to them from their perspective, but the way they move is really weird.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that the kids will put anything in their mouth, although my nephew really doesn't do that. He never really did. But most kids put random stuff in their mouth for no reason, which is it would explain him swallowing the thing, but then he hiccups it back up randomly. Was it stuck in his throat? And at which point wouldn't he be like asphyxiating way before
I
that?
don't know. It's like, how did he
Like,
swallow that in the first place?
I mean, I'm sure
I
there is a
I
finite amount of time that it takes to get down the esophagus, but yeah, I don't know how much.
and I mean, just hiccuping it back up.
Yeah,
Hiccups come from the diaphragm, not the stomach. So
yeah.
hiccuping doesn't regurgitate anything. It is a muscle spasm. And so everything hiccuping is coming from your lungs, not your stomach.
Maybe the rock just levitated out.
Maybe.
It's a weird
And
power
since
rock.
he was unconscious, he couldn't control the levitation. That is a viable thought.
Eh,
The hiccup was just an incidental thing.
Um, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fairly normal Pinky and the Brain with some weird animation.
Well,
um,
yeah, although I was amused by the slight fourth wall break they did where she's like, God damn it, my sister's got to stop buying him these creepy old school toys from old
squeeze, squeeze.
cartoon
yeah, and
referencing
that's a joke they could have run in the first segment by going, "Hey, uh, uh, like they sell like surplus old Animaniacs toys, like they bought a bunch of surplus Animaniacs toys, and this guy's trying to push them, and that's why why they're making the Animaniacs spin-off, and then they're selling them as their own. They
or
found a
their knockoff Animaniacs toys.
yeah,
Like, you know how they have the memes where they have like the dollar store dolls that are action figures that are supposed to be referencing like be main characters and stuff, but they're generic brand. So like RoboCop is Robot Hero or
or
stuff like that.
best one I saw was Robert Cop.
I saw that one too. The typos, yeah.
Yeah,
Or the Transformers are like robot shapeshifters or robot morphs or something like that.
yeah. It's
Animal Animaniacs is a viable option for a name for
yeah,
a Russian knockoff of Animaniacs
and that's what
as a
they
toy
could.
game.
Oh,
And
that's
they
how they could have started the whole episode. They're in a toy store and they find, some, dollar store thing, and they go to the toy aisle and they see Animaniacs, and they see like weird looking versions of themselves.
yeah, but
And then
I
they
actually like the whole, the whole like channel surfing and stuff. So maybe an ad for the Animaniacs or something.
yeah, again, I'm just thinking of, if you're going to complain about something, come up with a better idea. And that's one way. The
Mhm.
It just gets it away from having to do the I guess you wouldn't. Yeah, you still don't have to do the Russian spying joke. With even if you do the channel change a bit, they just see it and they go, "Oh, we're gonna go check it out." They could do that, but yeah, that's just another idea of how they could have started that thing. But yeah, I mean, it's. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's
Let's get back from your tangent
well, it's
before
still
I turn
related
out
to the
again.
episode. If I'm gonna be, I'm not going off on a tangent that's not related to the episode. Like this is how
True.
that could have been. This shows how you could have done that one better.
I honestly didn't mind the Russian spying bit.
Mm,
I did think
I
it was
think
a
I
little
think
underhanded with the whole, throwing Trump in there for no reason. But honestly, the rest of it was okay to me. But I am not as politically inclined, so I didn't really have the same visceral response you did.
but
But back to Pinky and the Brain,
yeah, there's not a.
I liked how he MacGyvered his way out of that thing. Although, how long did it take him
Mm.
to use that pop-up toy jack? How long did it take him to figure that out? That that kid had subjugated his entire class.
I think he was knocked out, and that was him waking up and going, "Oh, oh, I got to get out
Maybe,
of here. Oh, I can go click." I think
maybe
that's how that worked.
he was knocked unconscious. That's excusable. Although those teachers were inexcusable.
Oh
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, how many people do you know like that? Just
My
like they're
sister,
supposed to be doing something and they're just phone.
my sister.
Yeah,
I
like
don't even have to look very far.
yeah, it's one thing if you're sitting at home, you're not supposed to be doing anything, you're just enjoying some entertainment. That's one thing, but like if you're in the middle of supposed to be watching some kids, put
Well,
away the
no,
phone.
because then you
Give
just
them your undivided.
well, no, because then you just put the kids in front of the TV with you.
True.
Let them watch what you're watching.
Oh, they don't want to watch what I'm watching.
Nobody
Okay,
wants to
aside
watch
from
what
your
you're
porn
watching.
Oh, shush.
It's probably a bunch of chicken dances.
Naked chick dances.
That's just inappropriate. I mean,
That's
what's next?
sexy.
Pumpernickel?
Yes.
But
Oh.
yeah, I mean, they were really rubbish at their job.
Yeah.
And the fact that the preschool and the junior high school were right next door isn't that surprising, but why would you automatically assume that some mice you find are from the school instead of wild rodents that snuck in from outside?
And yeah, it's
Like,
also that you don't use live animals giving them to middle schoolers.
yeah, not only that, but I mean, I remember in high school we dissected like sheep eyeballs and stuff.
Ugh.
We did a frog.
I never did the frog.
Yeah. We did a
I
frog,
I mean,
but
Miss Piggy would get jealous. No,
but
we the only things we did were like body parts, cow heart, sheep eyes. I think there was another one.
yeah, we didn't dissect anything in middle school. I think it had to be to high school
Oh,
before we
grade
dissected
school.
anything.
In grade school. This was back when computers were first becoming like not really mainstream, but were becoming more prevalent. And so my teacher was obsessed with computers. This was like in the mid 90s, early 90s. And so my grade school teacher actually had like a dozen computers in our class. I was in special ed. And he would make you take and play on the computer, practice on the computer. We had scheduled computer time. And one of the games was actually dissecting a frog, where it was one of those things where it was kind of like the game Operation, but with a frog body. And you used your mouse to try to remove the body parts and put the body parts back and stuff. I was like, it was like fourth or fifth grade, so. The whole dissecting an animal. And that was in the 90s, keep in mind. So they probably would be doing that, but digitally, not live animals anymore. Because you damn sure Pete is going to get up in that grill.
But yeah, live animals, no. Yeah, they would be dead. Like, why?
Subject our children.
Actually, forcing the kid to actually kill a mouse seems a bit brutal.
Although that one kid seemed pretty damn eager.
Yeah, that's.
He's like,
I mean, it would be a good test to see who the people you need to watch out for.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, if he's a little too eager to kill the mouse, maybe mark that in your book. Just go.
Yeah.
No, Sally, we don't stab. We slice. Yeah, but it's trying to run away. Just hold it still. It's squirming too much. Can I stab it first? Can I slit its throat? Okay, Sally is going in the psychopath folder. You know, it'd be much easier if we killed them first. Then we could chop them up at our leisure without having to actually worry about them squirming around.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, that's probably something I would have said too.
But yeah, that's not how that works. Then again, it doesn't really. Then it doesn't make the whole back end of that last attempt. That last joke doesn't make any sense if you tried to. It gets really dark if you try and make the last joke. The whole sending them to the middle school. It gets real dark if you actually do it in a realistic manner.
Yeah.
It gets real dark real fast. But it still ended pretty dark, in a pretty dark way, but yeah. And then I guess we finish with the Warner's press conference.
You see, that automatically feels like an end of season thing.
That would have been.
There's still like 3 episodes left, I think.
This is 10, yeah. So
that feels like something that should be on the last episode.
Yeah, I think that would be I think you're right. I think putting that at the end of 13 would have been a better fit. You slide some other thing into this slot and then just.
Even if you literally just put this entire episode at the very end,
yeah,
it would make more sense.
Yeah, kind of a downbeat to end on, but yeah, it would have worked better as the end of the last episode. Slide some stuff around or something. But yeah, I mean, I do like the animators had a sort of a field day today. Had a field day with the press conference. Like, okay, how many different costumes can we put them in?
Yes, especially Yakko. Oh my gosh, every time you panned to him, he was in something different.
Cowboy outfit and whatnot.
Pirate. I mean, Wacko kept the sports thing on pretty much the entire thing. But the others changed around. Yakko changed around quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some. It works as a short little thing to tag on the end of an episode. It's very random. It does.
I mean, that's kind of the thing,
Yeah,
though. You know?
that's kind of their point, but it does feel like this feels like a segment that was they went into the writers room and they just started throwing stuff around. It's just like, all right, what's something funny? We can just do this is a press they're at a press conference. What are they going to do? There's three writers on this, so that very much could have been those three. This whole segment was just them throwing around ideas and then just spitballing back and forth what weird thing they could come up with, like the pancakes thing. The woman obsessed with room service pancakes. It's like okay, it's random. It's funny. It's very random. Um,
Yeah, I like how each one was just so out there and like completely okay.
yeah, I think my personal theory on this is yeah, it was a spitball session, and they were just like, all right, you're at a press. The owners are at a press conference.
I think they just role played it and they just wrote down everything each one said and they're just like, all right, we got the episode.
Yeah, I think that sort of idea. Yeah, it's that sort of okay. Oh, this is a cool idea. And, oh, this is a cool idea. And, oh, that's a cool little scene. A little bit to the scene. And, oh, that's a little bit to the scene. And you do all that, and you put it all together, and you get this episode.
Ta-da!
I like how they tied it all to tied it in the end with the okay, you're locked up. Any questions about your illegal containment?
Yeah.
When will our next meal be? And can it be
pancakes?
And Spielberg's phone number is blank.
But
It's 555 BLANK.
but yeah, I mean, it does feel like it's good, but it does feel like this would have served better as you said, like this would be served better as a season sort of ender. It's like yes,
Yeah.
press
Kind of.
conference for the season. They got through this marathon of 13 episodes and you know, they got through everything. They did all the jokes, and then you just move this to the end of the season.
And it would
Yeah.
have been a nice thing if they had thrown it as the end of the season instead of keeping it at the just this one. Maybe make it its own episode, kind of how they have like flashback episodes in a lot of shows, but instead of a flashback episode, they make it a the same kind of concept, at least for instead of the closing, maybe the mid or something, where they go over the season itself and discuss it in a press conference style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have done as a whole season thing at the end.
Yeah.
Like same sort of format, same sort of form factor, like same sort of time, but same sort of
Like
time limit, but doing the whole season.
like referencing, so we met a few new characters. Are these the ones you mentioned in your intro? It's like, why, yes, it is. So which ones do you guys like? Something like that. Or, something like that, as opposed to just
Yeah, they could have kept a lot of the same jokes, just mix in a few more references to earlier episodes in the season, and then you know then the last bit where the director or who was it that came on was that um the studio guy comes on and takes the microphones and puts them in the cage and whatnot, and you know that makes such a nice ender for the season.
Yeah,
It just that's a that's a note to end on. Um,
a nice bow out.
yeah, because
Yeah.
then at the beginning of the next season, when you're having your first sketch of the next season, you show an empty cage
Release
and
the
just
release the reporters.
yeah.
Ah! And everybody runs away.
And inside the cage are just loads of pancake syrup bottles.
Yes. And you see like the reporters with their microphones chasing random people down after 6 months or however long. How do you feel about, like doing random interviews with completely random things like a signpost or something like that?
Damn, I could actually go for some pancakes right now.
or flipped the woman who loved pancakes gets out, and then somebody like somebody's walking by with a meal. It's like food, something different, and then the chef opens up, and it's like it's just pancakes again, and then she freaks out and runs off into the distance. Not again, not more pancakes. Like even she got sick of pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of jokes to be had with that as a 10-20 second little thing at the beginning of the next season. But yeah, I think you're right. This would have been better as a ender for the season, and throw in a few more jokes from the entire season, a few more joke questions, expand it maybe a little bit, or replace a couple questions that weren't that funny, and then replace them with jokes about the season in its entirety, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and then package that as the final little sketch of the season. And I think that would have been great. For all we know, though, this could have been originally intended to be the last one, and uh,
Yeah, could have
and
been.
And
that
they're
they just
focused.
got them out of order, or they finished that one first, or something. I don't know. Did they drop all at once, or was they sort of
They dropped all at once.
Yeah.
okay? Okay, well then not so much, but yeah, if they had gotten this in the right order, um, and put this at the
Maybe
last
they
one, this I
focused.
think it would have worked better.
Maybe the beta viewers or whatever you call them, the focus
Uh,
group who reviewed them before they aired, was like, I don't know about this episode. I don't think it's strong enough to finish on.
Yeah, and
And
they at that point they had too much invested, and they couldn't throw away the episode, but they didn't want to end on it because it would leave a bad taste in people's mouths. So they're like,
yeah,
okay, we're gonna move it we're gonna move it a few episodes back, and we'll make it episode 10, and we'll move a stronger episode to the final one, so we leave people with a better impression, and they'll forget about Animaniacs. um, by the time they finish binging the whole thing, but yeah, so I think so we've got what, 3 more episodes left, I think.
3.
oh,
I think there's only.
damn.
But
Only-
Yep, there's only 13.
yeah, so 3 episodes left. We'll see how.
Will Brain finally take over the world?
Well, but temporarily. It's usually that's how it goes if they're going to do it. If they ever do that, it's usually they achieve their goal, it's temporary, or they think they've won, but they actually haven't. That sort of thing.
Hey, something been bother me. In the old Pinky and the Brain, was there like some human guy that always try to like foil the brain?
No.
Oh, okay, I think it's something else then.
They did for a while have Snowball, the hamster that would. But that was more of a Moriarty to his Sherlock type thing, where it's like, I'm gonna stop you because I'm the best.
Yeah, yeah. They had Snowball and Larry. They've had some guests on, and then there was that weird series of Pinky and the Brain and Elmira, which
No, it's Pinky, Elmira, and the
Pinky,
Brain.
Elmira, and the Brain. Wrong order, right constituents, but yeah, it's yeah. That was a thing that occurred.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
they were like, no.
Yeah, that it occurred. It's a thing that occurred, but um, yeah, no, we don't talk about it.
We
Yeah,
never
that's one
talk
of those.
about it.
No.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
mean, what kind of world would a brain world be like?
that's the thing. He always. It's basically the classic problem of any megalomaniacal person is they they want the world. They say they want the world, but they have no idea what they would do if they ever won.
It's like I never thought I would get this far.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like um,
Actually, there Big Finish did a audio call a story called Masterful, where all of the masters join together and they finally take over the universe. And they're like, um, okay, the entire universe is destroyed. We're all that's left. What now? And Missy's like, oh, don't be looking at me like that, honey. I am not baby proofing this castle.
yeah, it's just yeah. I think Brain has thought so much about how to get there. He has no idea what he would do when he gets there. I mean, other than just be praised and adored for how brilliant he is. I think that's basically all he really wanted was he wanted he wanted power and to be praised for how brainy he was, how intelligent, how magnificent he is. Which really, I mean, if he wanted that, he could just use his same sort of mental faculties and acumen and just build a big business. Like you're clearly very intelligent. You could have all the money you wanted. You could have people legitimately think you're great. And you could have people all up and down your business kiss your butt on a regular basis. You get
Yeah,
what
but
you
Well,
that's
want and
just
you
so
don't have to go through the
unsanitary.
trouble.
But that's just so unsanitary. I wouldn't want somebody kissing my butt all up and down the place. That's just gross.
But yeah, it's just
well,
like the things you want.
Okay, I know Big Rock might like that,
Yeah.
but most of us wouldn't.
But yeah. I think
We all know Rock's the kinky bastard.
I think if what would be a funny thing to do is if some government agency has figured out that Brain is trying to do this all the time and he's just causing all sorts of problems. Okay? Then you just put him, if it's more trouble to have him trying to take over the world, then put him he's a mouse, so he can't really want for much. So you make him a little house, and you act like he took over the world. You pipe in news that only talks about Dear Leader, and you know, and then you just have him feel like, hey, I did this, And it doesn't. And if his schemes cost you more than it does to keep that up, it
Yep.
keeps him satisfied, and it keeps him from messing up the place.
Yeah.
Because if
Oh,
you tried to contain him and he knows he's in a jail, the best jails is the jail you don't realize you're in. And if he doesn't realize he's in a sort of jail of his own,
So basically, just Truman show him.
essentially, yeah, you'd have to be really good, but it wouldn't cost much, I would imagine. You know, just, you know,
And Pinky would be pretty obviously. Oh, Heil Brian.
yeah. Oh, if
Center
you,
of
you
the
know,
universe.
if you sold it to Pinky as this is gonna make Brain really happy without him having to put either of you in danger anymore. He's happy because he thinks he's taken over the world. He's satisfied. We don't have to deal with him. You don't have to get in danger. Everybody's happy. Even
Or you
Brain.
don't even have to do that. Just say, hey, guess what? Brain has taken over the world. He
Yeah.
already did it. He just doesn't realize. So
Yeah.
we want you to help us help him see that he's already taken over the world. All right.
Yeah, that's another way of going about it. Yeah. Either way, like Pinky would be more than happy to help, but yeah, you would be he's he's Pinky enough that he would probably go along with the other as well.
yeah. I think that's good for this magical episode.
Okay.
You know, just looking at the picture now, that face palm, or I should say, hoof palm.
But
Sorry, face hoof. Yeah,
face with
yeah, face hoof on you makes total sense for this episode.
well, that's my
Yeah.
general demeanor for the most part.
I heard him like as I was watching it. Like I knew what was coming, which is why as soon as he opened his mouth and started talking, I zoned out. Because I already heard it all before. And I'm like, I really don't care.
Well, I don't think they're gonna be able to top this one though. They pretty much like threw all the cards on the table.
Yeah, this was pretty much as bad as uh, yeah. It's one of the worst in sort of that we forgot we're a kid show and we're trying to be a little too politically cutting edge and we ended up
Yeah,
being bleeding
see,
edge.
that's my only problem is like I wouldn't really mind all the political stuff if this was more towards like adults, but this is technically made for kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's always had over the heads of the kids jokes,
Oh yeah, but
but
this is just
those are a nudge nudge wink wink and sort of,
yeah.
you know, it's a throwaway gag that the kid's not going to get or it's a background gag that the parents watching it with their kids will get, but the kids won't
Okay,
won't
don't throw away your gags. Just wash them and reuse them because those things can be expensive.
but if you recycle gags too much, they get tired, they get worn out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, but you have to make sure they're like clean between uses anyways. Otherwise, that's just really unsanitary, especially if you're sharing them around.
Well,
Good
good
night, everybody.
goodbye.
Okay.